Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. It's Mickey Mikeworth, and I am glad to see you. So, today I'm going to talk about the 12-week year. What do you really get after this many days together? Well, okay, so I've done 8 rounds now. And what have I learned? I have learned, as the person who leads that group, that everyone is different. Everyone has something different that they're going to find out about themselves. So the 12-week year is an accountability group that I host. And that accountability group meets every Sunday and it meets in 12-week segments. And we follow a book called The 12-Week Year. And the premise of the 12-week year is stop thinking annually, start just really doing it in these blocks of time. And this is not a particularly, um, the book itself is fine. It is a lovely publication, but what it has that I think does better than most is it has a structure that you can follow in an accountability format. So it's a way that I can help people get their stuff done. So I started the accountability group because my friend VJ, who is a pastor, said, "Mickey, I think you can really do this. I think you'd be really good at it, and I'll help." So he was so kind to do my first group with me, and now he's been doing them ever since because it is transformative. In fact, he just sent me. So we had done he and I because I have mentored him for 20 years. So he and I had made a list of the 50 things he needs to get done. And that was 2 years ago. And he sent me back a note and said, "Oh my goodness, 25 out of this 50 I have gotten done, and I haven't looked at this list." And I said, "Well, but you have been working on it every week. So, getting the calendar together and so forth." So he really got to see how much his life changed in a 2-year period, that when I handed him that list, he was feeling just sick about it. Like, "Oh, wow, I don't know how I'm going to get all this done." The thing about time and time management is that most people don't actually know how to do time management. They know how to do task management. And so, one of the things about being an accountability group is you get these videos, you get to come into session live. It is a big deal. You will learn from all of the other people because there's a whole group of brilliant, thoughtful, loving people that are in group with you. They're there every week for 12 weeks. And that makes it powerful. So VJ just couldn't believe how much he had done. And I said, "Well, go back, right? Look at your scorecards." And it is the everyday actions, all of these small actions that you do. You know, I've dedicated my life to one word, and that is prosperity. That for most of you who know me out in the world, that's what I teach. The reason I started doing the 12-week year is one, my friend VJ told me to do it. Two, I listened because the people that love you the most and really enjoy watching you succeed will give you opportunities for you to succeed and then stand there while you do it. That's fun. So why did I do it? I did it for that reason. But I am someone who likes to achieve. I'm a planner. That's what I've done with my life. But one of the things that I was tired of was not seeing my friends get ahead, that they really got in their own way. They just got in their own way. So I opened up the 12-week year really just for my friends to say, "Look, I'm not going to charge you very much, but I want you to have that." And I call it self esteem, holding the self in esteem. It's really easy to put yourself last. The problem is that people get so used to putting themselves last that they do it all the time. So part of the 12-week year, what do you get out of it? Well, what you get out of it is this opportunity to hold the self, your highest S self, in esteem. And esteem is in loving, thoughtful kindness, in grace, in opportunity, in just delicious, caring care. And the 12-week year is a book, and it is a book that explains this process. of how to have a weekly scorecard, how to kind of do just some real basic processes, how to write tactics, and you're going to do it for 12 weeks. Now, we send this out. It's the same PDF every single time. So you get that free when you get to be part of the group. And you pay one ticket. So you just pay once in the beginning and you get to go to all the sessions and you get all the YouTube content and you get some videos and you get some emails sometimes. But what you really get is a way to check in weekly. And if you are someone that has always been good at doing something like every week, like lots of people go to church or they go to a certain weekly event, you understand the value of a week. Most people don't have a weekly event that they're going to. So having 12 weeks on the 12-week year is it's new. You're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Sunday morning again. I got to be on that class." Yes, you got to be on that class. But what you get out of it, what do you get out of it? So I asked everyone in group this morning, what is the pleasant emotion that you are getting now 11 weeks in? Like what is it? Now we're 11 weeks further. What is the emotion that you feel? And we have 10 people, 12 people, 14 people in each of the groups. So, that everybody had something to say. The number one thing that people felt as an emotion from doing the 12-week year, whether it was their first time or their fourth time, is relief. And that relief, also, what that meant for each person was very different. Some people felt the relief, that they've now done this a bunch of times and they've gotten rid of so much stuff that they have consistently uncleaned their house. One person had said that she felt relief that she sent out all the letters for her nonprofit and was already receiving return envelopes full of money. That's fun. So relief, I think, is the number one piece. And relief to see that it can work. That's a powerful part of being in a group, checking in every week, having it be top of mind, keeping score on a scorecard, getting really savvy with what you are doing every day. It's more than a list, it's really strategies. Strategy is to say, I'm here, the place I want to go is over here. How am I going to drive that route? So strategies are critical and everybody learns a strategy. The second thing that came up the most is around the comfort that understanding time differently does. Some people had surprise. They were surprised at how not hard it was. Some people really felt that they had a foundational shift, that the foundational shift was I used to view time management very differently. And now I view time management as also a season. So one of the things that the 12-week year does is you go, look, I've got 84 days. You only have to concentrate on the stuff you want done in this 84 days. Everything else can wait. You can fit it in on other tasks, but pick the things that you really want to work on. So you also learn all these small little things. And those small little things are don't put it off. Just use those small time increments and you learn how to not delay decisions, but how to make them immediately. And by making decisions immediately, because clutter is a decision that wasn't made. So if you're looking around and you have a house full of clutter, you have a house full of decisions that weren't made. So it's learning to make a decision immediately. I will walk this all the way to the end, right? Not just setting everything at the bottom of the stairs, but walking it up the stairs, putting it actually where it belongs, finishing it out. And when you start to look at the emotions that you start to feel, right, that there's some space, there's a, more room in your day when you learn to finish a task. and when you learn to finish a task and not delay it. Some people really found that the emotion that they found was right relief, comfort, that some people really understood that they were shooting themselves in the foot all the time. A lot of emotions that came up around time, around how they use time, how time was being just sequestered in ways that didn't support them. And I think the other foundational piece there is that a lot of people found out that they don't take very good care of themselves. So having self-care and systems around self-care is foundational. So they wanted to do all this other stuff. They couldn't get all that other stuff done because they weren't taking care of number one, and that's you. So I hope that you will consider joining us on our journey. The 12-week year, it's not simple. It's not fast, but it kind of is fast. And it's effective. It's only 84 days. There's always a break in between. There would be 4 quarters in a year. We only do 3 sessions because I like to take 6 weeks off. And I like to take 6 weeks off so that people can feel ready to get back into their vibe, but they can also learn what it feels like to live the old way. Can you actually do this without the group? And for out of the 8 groups, I'm only 8 groups in, but out of the 8 groups, no, most people cannot keep up their momentum without assistance. So if you're trying to get all your timing stuff done and I don't have time for this group or whatever, you kind of are lying to yourself, because staying focused and excited and on track with your goals consistently, day after day after day, it's easy to let it go. It's easy to not do it. And the best way you can support yourself is to be part of a group and to give yourself a lot of grace and to walk it through and just walk the path of how do I get better every day? How do I deal with it when I don't feel like being better? How do I feel like it when this chaotic world out here is exploding? How can I stay well within? And that is what you get, is you get to train with a whole group of people who are either, 4 rounds ahead of you, or they're just starting too. And each group is uniquely different because each group has a different group of people in it. Some people only get to drop in the fall. Some people only drop in at the beginning of the year. So some people are going to do the second session. But whatever time you choose that you're ready, be ready. And that first thing that you can do to be ready is 1, read the book. 2 is to really focus on those 3-hour blocks of time. Everyone that took the 3-hour block of time all succeeded. They all got done much more than what they were doing. So if you have to block out 3 hours every single week to make sure that you're doing all your stuff. And that's the 3 hours that you have to work on all of that stuff. So sometimes I am spending my 3-hour time just editing the books that I'm working on. Sometimes I'm using that 3 hours to plan my other 10 weeks, right? So you need that 3-hour block of time every single week to work on your dreams. So even if I don't have a class starting soon, that's the number one thing you can do. And you can also take away the fact that the things that are kind of bothering you I think what you might get from being in group is relief. And that relief is pretty fantastic. So I hope to see you soon here. If I can't see you live, I'd like to see you here. Okay, well, have a great night, and I will see you at the next group.